Now that is what we have been waiting for, Chiefs Kingdom. It almost took an entire season, but the Kansas City Chiefs offense showed up. Today, I'm going to give you my instant takeaways from the game as the Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas and move to 8-3 on the season. With that, let's cut the chit chat and let's have some fun. Raiders week was a success for the Kansas City Chiefs as they went into Vegas and beat up on the Raiders with the final score of 31-17. Now, before we dive into all of that, I do want to thank each and every one of you who chimed in during my live stream and checked in and enjoyed the game. And honestly, it was one of my most fun live streams I've had to date. One, it had a lot of people coming in, a lot of good interaction, and I think on the tech side as well, it was perfectly smooth. So hopefully from here on out, we can keep having a good show and Chiefs Kingdom can keep showing out and keep enjoying the game. And of course, you already know we're going to do it again next week for Sunday Night Football as we will be going to Lambeau Field and taking on the Green Bay Packers. That should be a fun one in itself. Now, let's untangle this game because there is a lot to discuss. And how are we going to do it? Of course, let's talk about the hot topic. And it's no other than that Kansas City Chiefs offense who has had questions surrounding them throughout the entirety of the season because, quite frankly, they just do not look like themselves. And to start the game, they still did not look like themselves. Honestly, the defense didn't even look like themselves either, and the Raiders were beating up on us on both sides of the ball, and it looked like, it may be a cause of concern for the Kansas City Chiefs. Because on the Raiders' first possession, they went up and down the field and ended it with a Jacoby Myers touchdown. The Chiefs get the ball back yet again, and yet again, they do not move the ball. And then I don't know if it was the next possession, but on the next scoring possession for the Las Vegas Raiders, Josh Jacobs broke it out for 63 yards and went up 14-0. And you could tell at that very moment, and I even said it on the live stream as well, is if the Chiefs need a wake-up call, it is no better time than now. There was a little cause of concern for me because in years past, I'm confident. I'm still chilling, sitting back, and knowing that Patrick Mahomes will lead this team back down double digits because that is just what he does. But into this year, with a team struggling to score points, I'm starting to look a different way. I'm not doubting, but it's like I haven't seen it this year. But there was no better time than then to do it, and then Patrick Mahomes' offense and boys showed up, and it was a thing of beauty. Because it's like that is what ignited them. I don't know if there was a conversation on the sideline, if it was a huge wake-up call, whatever it may be, it sparked the fire that this offense needed. And hopefully that is something we can see for the rest of the season because I don't just want to see it 1 week now. I want to see this offense roll consecutively and going into Green Bay and then moving forward as well because there's still key matchups the Chiefs got to worry about. And this thing isn't signed, sealed, and delivered. The Chiefs haven't wrapped up the AFC West. Look at these pesky Broncos. They are 6-5 on the year now. They are fighting for playoff rights, and they are 2 games behind us too. This thing is far from done. But getting back into this game, the offense, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for taking some of that pressure off of our shoulders and being concerned each and every week. And honestly, they answered everything I needed them to answer in this game. And it all started off with, one, do good time management, control the ball, and run the football. And Andy Reid said it himself. Isaiah Pacheco was a stud in this game. And if you were just to look at the stat sheets and you see he only had 55 rush yards, you would be shocked if you actually watched the game. Now, he did have over 60 receiving yards, which totaled over 100 scrimmage yards. But man, every time Pacheco touches the ball, he is a difference maker. He is a playmaker. He rejuvenates this offense and brings it life. That's why you hear me, whether it be on a video, whether it be on a live stream, run the damn ball. There is no player on this offense or quite as unique as Isaiah Pacheco where he can give that spark and give the offense life. I don't think that's a crazy take, but It's the kind of tenacity he brings and he's getting into that leadership role as well. And I think Coach Reed needs to realize that. It needs to focus on him that you may not be pass heavy. And if you want to be, he is becoming a complete running back. He is doing good running the football. He's been a better blocking back. And then he's proved he is a good receiving back as well. There is no reason Isaiah Pacheco should have less than, I say 20 touches, but let's dwindle it down. He should have no less than 15 touches every game. That's the kind of playmaker and difference maker he is, and it was proven in this game. Give that man the ball. And since we're focusing on giving playmakers the ball, welcome to the league, Rashee Rice. We've been waiting for it, and it hasn't been on you. It's been on coaching. It's been maybe on quarterback play, whatever it may be, but thank you. And I mentioned it in my video leading up to the game. If this wasn't Rashee Rice's breakout game, I do not know what would have been. With McCole Hardman on injured reserve and Kadarius Toney out, and you're down 2 wide receivers, there was no reason that Rashee Rice should not have broke 100 yards and should have been a big playmaker in this game. And here he is, breaking 100 yards and having a touchdown in this game. And I loved every little bit of what Rashee Rice did in this game. Now, yes, he did have a few drops, and it is something he is going to grow from as well. But there are key and pivotal things you could focus on what Rashee Rice did. And one, we know he's the Yak King, and he displayed it on his 39-yard touchdown round when he took a crossing route, catched for 4 yards, and just took it upfield. But man, he showed he can win a jump ball on a beautiful 25, 30-yard throw from Mahomes. Great possession catch there. It was the thing of beauty. But the thing I loved, and I think was his best play of the day, was when all hell breaks loose and when Mahomes gets into that hero ball and scrambles, Rashee Rice followed. And Rashee Rice found the zone to get open in. Mahomes found him, lobbed it up. Rashee Rice made a catch. Those are 3 crucial areas right there where it just shows you growth in one game. Again, like I mentioned with Isaiah Pacheco, Rashee Rice led the wide receivers in snap counts. That should not change moving forward. He has shown what kind of playmaker he can be in this league, and he is gaining that trust. There is no reason he should take a backseat and move backwards. Honestly, with what the wide receivers did in whole, I was quite impressed. Again, maybe nothing sexy on the stat sheet, but I think each and every one of them played their role. Justin Watson, he's a great possession receiver. He had a good touchdown in this game. And Sky Moore, you're not going to get 100-yard games out of him. But if you can get good possession catches and maybe some that can break free, that is a win in itself. Each wide receiver needs to have its role. And I believe slowly but surely we're figuring that out. And honestly, I think like I mentioned in my previous video as well, the 2 guys out in this game was a blessing in disguise. This wide receiver room needed to be trimmed down. You do not need to have 100 guys fighting for snaps. That's not the case. Now they will get Kadarius Toney back, and he will have a role. And best believe they will find a way to fit him in. But what they're doing now is progress, and you love to see it, and it is a good thing moving forward. And one last note on the offense as well, since we're speaking on the receiving game, and a lot of people don't talk about him as a receiver, but Noah Gray can be a huge asset for this offense. We all focus on what wide receiver will step up. Noah Gray can be that guy. Honestly, the Chiefs offense can continue to move forward if they focus on guys like Isaiah Pacheco, Rashee Rice, and Noah Gray. And of course, you can't discount anything that Travis Kelce does. But we're looking for that number 2 or 1B to Travis Kelce's 1A. And any of those guys can put up that type of production. And y'all may think I'm crazy mentioning Noah Gray, but he's Mr. Consistent. Every time Mahomes targets him, he makes a catch. And in yesterday's game, you saw it. Mahomes even threw it short of the chains a few times, and he found a way to basically bust uphill and get 10 to 15 yards. I would love to see more of Noah Gray in this offense. Now let's transition to the defense. Defense. And for the whole majority of the year, y'all played elite. But to kick off this game, it was rocky. It was shaky. You made Aiden O'Connell look like Tom Brady out there. He was dicing us up. I'm not even going to lie. He was placing the ball in beautiful position to where only the wide receiver can make these catches. I was like, wow, okay, this could be a long game. But then the defense adjusted. And the key matchup of the day was Davante Adams, L'Jarius Sneed. And in the first half, Davante Adams, he had L'Jarius Sneed's number. He had went for like 5 catches for 73 yards in the first half. And we all thought, ooh, you may want to make adjustments because this may be the first guy to get L'Jarius Sneed. But ever since then, L'Jarius Sneed, I believe, only allowed 1 catch, maybe not that, and he was quiet in the second half. L'Jarius Sneed has been that dude. He has been locked down. He has been that basically lockdown island on the other side of Trent McDuffie. And Trent McDuffie, he does his blitzes, which are a thing of beauty. And when you don't hear his name called upon in the secondary, that means he's doing his thing right. The only thing that basically popped out was a huge catch on him from Jacoby Myers, but I can't even blame him because that was a beautiful ball by O'Connell, and McDuffie had his hand in there, but it was only a play a wide receiver could make, so I can't really shoulder that on him. And then you just focus on the D-line. They were getting after O'Connell, but not as frequently as I would like, but when the fourth quarter came, Spags knew what to do best. Chris Jones, Drew Tranquil, they stopped Josh Jacobs on 4th and 1. And that's another huge adjustment as well that you love to see is that Josh Jacobs, after his huge 63-yard touchdown, he was basically quieted for the rest of the game. It was funny. Every time the Raiders made a play or answered, like I mentioned with Davante Adams or Josh Jacobs, that didn't happen in the second half. And the Chiefs, they held the Raiders to 3 points in the second half, to 17 points in the entire game. This defense just does not give up points. It's a thing of beauty. And if this offense is humming this way and this defense is playing really good football, this team's going to be very, very tough to beat. And oh yeah, one last thing before we close this video off. They did get the monkey off their backs. For the majority of 3 weeks, all we heard about this offense was they have not scored in the second half. They are only averaging 5 points in the second half. They got that monkey off their back quickly. They put up 17 points in the second half. I hope this is something that can keep progressing throughout the weeks, and that way the offense can keep maturing. I don't have no doubt in it. I believe Mahomes, Coach Reed will have this offense moving in the right direction. They just need to focus on what is working and don't do too much cute stuff. It worked in this game, but doesn't mean it will work in every game. Game planning, coaching is always huge moving forward. That's why they'll play this way against anyone. Now, it's this offense. It's time for y'all to rise to the occasion. Don't let this game be a fluke. It is the Raiders. I want to see it on a consistent basis. Now with that, Chiefs Kingdom, I am closing out this video. Let me know some of your key takeaways as the Kansas City Chiefs went into Las Vegas, stole another one. Mahomes has never lost in Vegas. That is Arrowhead West. It is another home stadium for us. With that, Chiefs Kingdom, I'm gonna sign off. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you did like this video, please leave that big thumbs up. I'm checking out. Y'all take care. Peace.